Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon across the globe. You're welcome to your Friday tonic, Straight Talk. My name is David Lucas, and I'm glad you are there. Today, we're going to be looking at a few things, as they are breaking and trending in Nigeria. I first of all want to talk about the issue of security in Nigeria, and also we're going to be looking at deeply the issue of the communication minister, Dr. Issa Pandemi, and a few other issues that have to do with security. We're going to be looking at them, and also I believe there's this interesting story about the Nigerian police officer, ASP ASP Sunday Erabo, who was given a thorough beating by a motorist, and eventually we are going to see. I'll give you a gist of what transpired after the beating of ASP Sunday Erabo. In spite of the fact that he was holding AK-47, he couldn't shoot it. But let's see what happened. I'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back. Just like I said in my intro, I want us to quickly look at the story of ASP Sunday Erabo, a Nigerian police officer who had a rough day with a motorist in Lagos. The officer, had stopped a one-way driver for breaking traffic rules in Lagos. The offender, instead of being remorseful, alighted from his vehicle, hit the police officer several times before the situation was brought under control. And in an interview with the Punch newspaper, ASP Sunday Erabo disclosed that he had never fired a shot at anyone since he joined the Nigerian police force. Now let's listen to what happened that day, the fracas, at the point where that incident occurred.
That's what he's supposed to. If we say sorry, if we say
That was what transpired between the motorist and ASP Sunday Rabo on that fateful day. Now, Nigerians, we salute the courage of ASP Rabo for what he did, in spite of the fact that he was holding his AK-47, but the man said that since he joined Nigerian police, he has never in his life fired a shot, at anybody. And that day, a lot of Nigerians, went online, to the social media, and they began to raise money for ASP Rabo. As at yesterday, a check of 1 million naira was given to ASP Rabo for the way and manner he conducted himself during that fracas. And also the governor of Lagos State, Governor Sanwo-Olu, had to invite Mr. Rabo to his office, and he honored him. That is the kind of police we are looking for in Nigeria. Some months back, it was the issue of SARS all over the place. If you can remember the Lekki shooting, when policemen had to open fire, the army came there, they opened fire on the protesters, and this man Rabo showed a very good example of what the kind of policemen that we need in Nigeria. I want to say a big thank you to ASP Rabo for what he did, and I pray that other policemen in Nigeria will follow his example and always do the needful when they are faced with such situation. Now let's take a short break here. I'll be back, and then we'll talk more on the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. Yeah, welcome back. You are still watching Straight Talk, and I am David Lucas. You are watching us right on Touch Radio Nigeria. The issue that is trending now is that of the communication minister, Issa Pandam, who has taken over, every medium when it talks to media. We all know since last week when America, when they said they put a searchlight on him, that he is a member or is connected to Al Qaeda, and since then a lot of things have been unfolding concerning Issa Pandemi, and now we are looking at the implication of this man still being the communication minister, and what Nigerians what they are saying. Many people say he is supposed to just resign honorably because of all the fingers that have been pointed at him. Now we are looking at this the minister today, and we want to look at the way the media is looking at him, and also what Nigerians are saying about the communication minister. Now let's quickly look at the press release that Garba Shehu churned out just yesterday here. The publicity directorate of the presidency came up with this press release, supporting the minister, saying that Nigerians are against him, that they are biased about the minister. I want to quickly listen to what Garba Shehu said in the press in the press release. I don't know whether my producer is ready with the press release. makes leaders in politics, religion, and civil society liable in the present for every statement by the presidency on the recent campaign against the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy. Today, there is an unfortunate fashion in public discourse that makes leaders in politics, religion, and civil society liable in the present for every statement they have ever made in the past, no matter how long ago, and even after they have later rejected them. This insidious phenomenon seeks to cancel the careers of others on the basis of a thing that have said, regardless when they said it. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, is currently subject to a cancel campaign instigated by those who seek his removal. They do not really care what he may or may not have said some 20 years ago. That is merely the instrument they are using to attempt to cancel him. But they will profit should he be stopped from making decisions that improve the lives of everyday Nigerians. The minister has rightly apologized for what he said in the early 2000s. The views were absolutely unacceptable then and will be equally unacceptable today were he to repeat them. But he will not repeat them, for he has publicly and permanently condemned his earlier utterances as wrong. In the 2000s, the minister was a man in his 20s. Next year, he will be 50. Time has passed, and people and their opinions often rightly change. But all discerning Nigerians know this manufactured dispute is nothing to do with the minister's prior words, but solely concern his actions in the present. This administration is committed to improving the lives of all Nigerians, and that includes ensuring they are not overcharged or underprotected for those services on which modern life depends. The minister has been leading the charge against illegal data deductions and pricing. He has revolutionized the government's virtual public engagement to respond to COVID-19 and save taxpayers' money. He has established ICT startup centers to boost youth entrepreneurship and create jobs. He has changed policy to ensure locally produced ICT content is used by ministries, starting with EZON, and he has deregistered some 9.2 million SIMs, ending the ability for criminals and terrorists to flagrantly use mobile networks undetected. In 2 short years, Minister Pantami has driven the contribution of the ICT sector to the GDP to more than 80%, making it one of the top 2 playing a critical role in the emergence of the economy from the COVID-19 induced recession. In putting people first, the minister and this administration have made enemies. There are those in the opposition who see success and want it halted by any means. And there are now well-reported information that alleges newspaper editors revolved an attempt to financially induce them to run a smear campaign against the minister by some ICT companies, many of which do indeed stand to lose financially through lower prices and greater consumer protections. The government is now investigating the veracity behind these claims of attempted inducement, and should he found to hold credence, police and judicial action must be expended. The administration stands behind Minister Pantami and all Nigerian citizens to ensure they receive fair treatment, fair prices, and fair protection in ICT services. Garba Shehu, Senior Special Assistant to the President, Media and Publicity, April 22, 2021. Yeah, welcome back. That was the press release
Cancel campaign
that was brought out, just about 24 hours ago by the senior media executive to the president, Garba Shehu. Now, a few Nigerians too, they've been reacting to Pantami. That is not throwing the towel. They say the man is a threat to that office and to Nigeria because of what he believes. But the federal government now is backing him up with all claims. Now let's listen to one of our analysts. His name is Bolauba. Bolauba spoke on the insecurity, the border insecurity, because a lot of foreigners from Chad, from Niger, they are not coming to Nigeria to come and register, the NIN, that is the name, registration. Now let's listen to Bolauba on what he has to say about insecurity.
They made. Let me say it this way.
okay
How do you want to secure a border that people, because of their primordial sentiments, deliberately want to keep open? The issue of Pantami should also speak to the border. You know what? In the backdrop of the total disintegration of the Sahel now, I keep telling people, remove the 5,000 plus soldiers of France. If you remove the 5,000 plus soldiers of France today from the Sahel, you will not have countries like Niger, Mali, because those countries are practically over. They are just in the state that Nigeria is. And look, which effective border post can they tell you that they are keeping in the northern part of the country? You know what? Those of us who are in the south should not be delusional and be thinking that it stops in the north. Yesterday, was it not yesterday?
Yeah, that was Bolauba reacting to the issue at hand. Communication Minister Pantami. Now, I want you to listen quickly to Disu. Jimmy Disu also reacted, on the issue of
about 3 years ago
of Pantami. Now, let's listen to Jimmy Disu.
We all troops to the polling 2 years ago, the 3 years plus, to the polling booths and elected the government in whom we have given the responsibility to run this country for 4 years. Now, the way governments are run, there's so many things that come into decisions that are made, some of which can be made public and some that might not be made public for security and obvious reasons. And therefore, if the presidency or the president, whichever way you want to put it,
right,
I've gotten a security report in the case of Pantami, and he still went on to be appointed, then definitely we must have the confidence that there are some considerations that they thought of that you and I are not privy to. So in that sense, on point of principle, I'd like to know, I don't want to be quoted out of on point of principle, the government has the right, okay, to say that yes, this gentleman, yes, we saw the security report, yes, this was said, but we are comfortable with him. And that is all the government needed to have stated. But if you look at the government statement, it still lends credence to what I said, that the government's information function has to be handled in a more tidy, less emotional and more corporate manner. Okay? I read the statement 1, 2, 3 times and listen to how a government statement on an issue like this starts. It says, today there is an unfortunate fashion in public discourse that makes leaders in politics, religion and civil society liable in the present for every statement they have ever made in the past, no matter how long ago and even after they have later rejected them. This insidious phenomenon seeks to cancel the careers of others on the basis of a thing they have said, regardless of when they said it. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy is currently subject to a cancel campaign instigated by those who seek his removal. They do not really care what he may or may not have said 20 years ago, and the government goes on and gives a rationale as to why they think this gentleman is being attacked. It is not their responsibility to do so. How does it sound to you if you just get a statement that says the federal government has acknowledged and noted the concerns of the public as to the pandemic case and so on and so forth, but to like to appeal to the people to please recognize the responsibility they have reposed in this government, and that in spite of what has happened, we believe that this gentleman will still be useful and something framed in that manner, QED, without pitching camp.
Yeah, welcome back. That was the view or the opinion of Jimmy Disu. Now, I want you to quickly listen also to some journalists. They share their own opinion, about the communication minister. One of them is Mustafa Muhammad, who works with REPA. Yeah. Now, I want you to listen to their own opinion. Then we now draw, our own. We draw the line as to where the government, has faltered in the whole scheme of events.
And are we really ready to address the problem of economic, religious, political terrorists in the nation Nigeria? As far as I'm concerned, no matter how you try to interpret it, even bad governance is terrorism. Who are the victims? The Nigerian citizens are the victims. You're talking about Pantami. Some of these statements he has made are statements that have also been made by similar scholars all over the world. And of course, I personally feel happy that he has renounced. It's left for the president to either fire or keep him in the cabinet. He has taken a decision. But the fundamental issue is there are so many others, religious bigots, religious extremists. Across all the religion. Yes, and then sponsored groups, Muslim groups sponsored by Iranians, sponsored by Saudi Arabia. They are in this country calling some of us infidels because we refuse to follow the group they follow. We also, I can also vividly remember that pastor, is it Apostle Suleiman, who said anywhere you see Fulani, kill them. When the security tried to pick him, he ran into hiding, and eventually he was. No, he submitted himself. Eventually, he didn't. I didn't submitted himself. The first few days he was nowhere to be found, and let's call a spade a spade. But then, even though you said it's across the board, he didn't go into hiding. It's extended an invitation that he honored. Rather than ideology. Can we compare it? Think about bad governance. You talk about bad roads, lack of housing, social action in education, in health. Who are the victims? Okay, humanity. They are clearly taking the bait now. Now, what happens in normal time is that take bullets for their principle. But what has happened is that the president is taking a bullet from Pantami. Now, the advice they will give to the president is what I have just narrated. They're after you, but they want to start with this now. Let's stop them. They didn't consider the wider implications. The wider implication, if they truly love the president, if they truly care about the president's legacy, what Nigerians will indeed talk about him, the legacy, the international community, then they will advise the president, get rid of this minister. You can get even his junior brother or wife to continue from where he stopped, but someone who is clean. That's the way to go. And when politicians gather, they sit political office and state power, they most times fail to reason beyond that level. Terrorism and support for terrorism. Every country of the world frowns so heavily at it. If you're having any business, not even to talk of you want to enter the US, if you're having a business with the US government, they'll give you forms to fill. Have you propagated any religious extremist views? Are you associated with terrorism? Have you supported them? It tells you the extent to which the world sees anybody that makes a statement pertaining to terrorism. Now, how would they react? What perception is the president trying to give up? Now, for Pantami's sake, they should have saved even Pantami from himself. By what they will do is to give him the option, the Kemi Adoshu, to resign. And maybe perhaps.
Yeah, welcome back. That was the opinion of some of the journalists there. You know, we are going to draw the curtain, here today. And before I go, I just want to say a very big thank you, to my producers. I want to say a big thank you to my producer, my Oga Papata here, presenter Oluwami Sheun. Also a big thank you to production assistants, Babawumi Joshua and Ola Yoye Tobiloba. Thank you very much for being with us today. Till next week, when we come your way again on Straight Talk, I still remain your one and only David Lucas, and I just want to say one thing: stay out of trouble and remain blessed. Bye-bye.
Touch Communications, the best in online radio. Touch Communications, the best in online radio. Touch Communications, don't touch the dial.